What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Brothers of Legacy. As you can see, it is I-A-D in the place. Rocket on the mic. In the ATL. Oh, so appreciate you guys rocking this morning. Hopefully my brothers will be coming through soon. Let's see. Whew, there's a few things I want to discuss today. You gotta sneeze. Your nose starts to tangling and stuff. Oh, hold on one second. Bam. What's I'm looking for? What's that smelling? What should we watch for this year? Let's see. I had one topic that we were going to talk about, but I'm switching it up a little bit. So I appreciate your patience. I mean, yeah, I just felt like it wasn't time yet. Save that. Who's in the building? Good morning, Cheryl, Sports Car Lady. Thank you for rocking with us. Mama McCory in the building. Great morning to you. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. So hopefully some of my brothers will be coming through shortly. So today we're talking about what should we watch for this year. And, you know, it's going to encompass a lot of different things. Hey, Cheryl in the building. V in the building. Great morning to you guys. And make sure, while we're here at this very moment, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Share. Let everybody know that we are here. And I got some Black History facts. Well, fact. Because it's the second day of February, and I'm going to push hard to have a Black History fact every single day. Something you may not have known. I'm trying to dig into the things that we don't normally talk about. Some of the things you may not know. All right. So as always, this is your opportunity to share. Tag somebody. If you're in Facebook land, I challenge you to tag somebody to be in on this conversation. What should we watch for this year? Because I know everyone has an opinion about what we should be watching for this year and things that are going to happen. So make sure you be a part of that. Make sure they are a part of that conversation. All right. As always, hang tight. We'll be right back. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another edition. Good morning, everybody. All right. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. I am still sharing. Let's see. Share, and sharing is caring. Alright, let's do that. Hold on. Alright, the brothers is live. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah. Go in the building. Great morning to you, my friend. Great morning to you. Let's see. Sure, I'll share that. So yes, like I said, if you're in Facebook land, make sure you tag somebody. Just tag one person. Let's say, you know what? They should be in on this conversation. Get them in the building. Let them be a part of this conversation, because the more people that are part of the conversation makes things much, much better. You know, because we interact with our comments. It just makes for a better conversation. All right. So before we get started, let me see if I can find it. Hopefully I didn't lose it. Let's see. Did I lose it? Oh man. Let me see. All right. There we go. Is this it? Make sure I got it right. Okay. So, history fact. Yes. Good morning, sir. History fact. All right. You know, I didn't type it in there. Let's do that. Let's type it in there. All right. So who was the first hip hop record ever sold? The first hip hop record made and sold. You're probably gonna get it wrong. I'm challenging Cole on that one. Hey, good morning, Sam. Thank you for rocking with me. Speaking of Sam, tonight, he need me. Coach, I'm ready. Nah, tonight, speaking of which, tonight is the ladies of Sisters of Legacy. Sam and her crew will be on with us. We'll be making a guest appearance. I know it'll be me. I'm pretty sure Dwayne and maybe Pastor, if he can make it. It's going to be an interesting conversation. We're talking about covering. All right. Aha. That is a no, Cole. That is a no. You know that was too easy, right? You know that was just right there. No, the first group was Fayetteville's Bill Curtis and his Fat Back Band. Bill Curtis, put that up there. Bill Curtis and was it had the Fat Back band. All right, so they were the first ones. Bill Curtis and the Fat Back Band. Yes. Hold on. I was gonna play something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I know I can't play much of it, and it was called King Tim the Third. I guess called Personality Jock. King Tim the Third, Personality. Right? I thought I was like, you know, Cole digs in. He might know it. He said, yes, it was considered a hip hop record. Now, Sugar Hill was made like a month later, and of course, it became an international success, which is why it gets more notoriety for being the first, as opposed to them, you know. But as far as time goes, if you're like, who's the first to put something out, Bill Curtis will be the winner. Right. And I looked them up. They got several songs. I think they're still making music, but let me see if you can hear this. He said, man, really? Here we go. King Tim the Third. All right, hold on. You know, can't play much because I'll get what's up? What's up? Grand Rising. Cousin in the building. Was that you know songs back in the day, especially like the 70s going into the 80s. You got the whistle intro. They paid extra for that. Stop. All right, so let's see. Did I set it up? Bam. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So what should we be watching for this year? So hold on. Before we get started, I'm gonna just go ahead and kick off. Tonight at 7:30, we have Pastor Brian McCrory and Solomon's Temple Christian Ministries. They will be, Pastor, will be teaching tonight. So stay tuned. Right. All right. There we go. Bam. Yes. Yeah. The late 70s had songs of a lot of whistles in them. You're right, Cole.
That, that was horrible. And I see why everybody always say rappers are like the first one because they were.
So, yeah. 7. Did I say 7:30? If I said 7:30, forgive me. 7 p.m. Yes. 7 p.m. Um. So yeah. You said what's that? You said why they say what? Rappers delight.
Yeah, no, I just said when you played that song,
Yeah.
I was like, I understand why everybody say Rapid Light was the first rap group. That was hard.
Yeah. They didn't sell. Yeah. They didn't sell as much. They went. Oh. Which world? Yeah, Rappers Delight was international. His mama said, "You know what? You know what, Sam? You know what? Luckily, I can't push you on a temporary block." Oh, so yeah, Rappers Delight sold internationally. And it's they got a funny story as well. Like they got the big man from the crew. Later on, decades later, actually stole the group from under the original people, and now they were out. What's up?
Oh no, I had to
Oh,
stick out.
oh, and now like they were touring as the other new rappers delight, because the lack of video and lack of pictures, people thought, back in the day, people stole groups, and they actually stole that to see you. He said, "Oh, you know better," and not block me. um,
I was thinking that. He said,
so so yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, they were the first. They were the first. Actually, and I heard the story. Grandmaster Flash was actually asked a year or two prior, and he had said something as he didn't think people would buy a full album with hip hop on it or rap on it.
"Wow,
Right, right. Right. I was trying to find. That's how I start. That's how I found Fatback because they're looking for that article. Because I remember reading it in the '90s when he said that. So I was trying to find that article. So anyway, today I kind of want to talk about what should we be watching for this year. Some of the trends, some of the things happening. Political, life, social, whatever it is. Some of the things you should be watching for. Dwayne. So this year, like what trends or things have you seen that you're like, you know what, I'm kind of keeping my eye on that.
um, the debacle of this coronavirus.
Mm,
I
okay.
they've made a lot of noise about how quickly they've come up with the vaccine,
Right.
which that's a can of worms in itself. Um, but now that we got two new strands of this virus,
Right.
what's the purpose of the vaccine? I want to see how this plays out because now they've got all these tens and hundreds of millions of vaccines, or how many ever,
Right.
and you got two new strands, the
Right.
South African and the UK strand. So where does that leave all these people who've got my
Right.
vaccine?
Right.
Yeah, but that's for that one. What about their cousin and their uncle?
Right.
He will knock at your door.
Right.
That's one thing I'm looking for. I want to see how that plays out.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, that vaccine thing is kind of, it's just such a weird space. Like, and just as as a side note, as Brothers of Legacy, we're not doctors. We're not recommending anything. We're just speaking off what we've seen, what we've heard. Just kind of the same information you guys have access to. Um, and I make your decision based on your health and what you should do for you and your family. So um, it's just looking at the vaccine, just unsure, like you said, with the different strands, is how is it going to play out. That is something we should be watching for and keeping our eyes on. He said, Cole said, we got a precursor last month. The Capitol insurrection is showing that white supremacists are feeling the pinch of becoming a minority in their very own country. True, true. That's another interesting thing to watch. Oh, I know. For me, I am curious, especially now. Well, at least until I guess after the trial of Donald Trump, um, what's he gonna do after, or will he run for 2024? Or will he just ride off into the sunset? I don't think he'll ever I don't think he's gonna stop. Because he does have such a huge momentum. But what I will say, it seems like it does have to be about him. Meaning, I don't think he'll start a party and let somebody like lead it. Like he
Right.
will pass all of that he built to somebody else. Like it's just
I think it will be passed, but for different reasons. I mean,
right, right.
I,
It,
it sounds mean and it sounds like I'm being negative when I say this, but I'm just talking about physical only. I don't know if he got enough juice left to make it to
oh,
two
I got you.
and then through another election cycle
I got you.
because he's already in his late 70s. Plus, he was president uh,
Right,
in his late 70s. That's
right,
a stressful thing, and you're talking about being the oldest to do it.
right,
I don't know if he's got enough juice.
right. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, his if you I guess if you think about like his life with businesses, his everything he's been dealing with, I think his body may be, as crazy as it sounds, maybe accustomed to it. But then again, you would say that for Joe too, because Joe been in the game so long, like like
Right.
his body is like politically inclined to deal with that stress. Like I know how to shove that stress of not getting something or pushing for something. So I'm sure like they're. And as opposed to someone like us jumping in that ring, like, oh my gosh, my head is spinning, you know.
Yeah, I think it'd be even simple. I think it'd be simple because
Yeah,
God gave me, He gave me a gift, and sometimes that gift gets me in trouble. Like I, if I can't change something,
right.
I really don't care. Like I can let anything.
Right, right. Well, that's true too. Let it slide, just like
There,
slide off you.
oh dang, that was messed up. Can't change it, so why think over it? Uh,
Right, right, right. Oh, he said Trump is 74 right now. He'll be Biden's current age come 2024. Interesting. He said, I believe they are probably trying to groom either Donald Jr. or Ivanka to take over for Trump. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
and Ivanka would be the one to watch because I think she might be a little bit more diabolical than her brother,
Wow.
just a little bit.
Right. Yeah, she may be. She may be. I don't, like I've never really heard them speak. I heard Ivanka speak a little bit. Don Jr. not as much. I've seen him clown a whole lot, but
She
I've never
she's
seen.
she's really strategic in everything she says.
Okay.
At least from the small sample of interviews that I've personally
Right.
watched.
She
Yeah.
watches her words and watches the
Right.
things that she.
Unlike her daddy. So I think she's a little more calculating. That doesn't
Gotcha.
speak to a person. And
Right.
of course that's her pop. So she's gonna ride with him, especially publicly.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. He said 100, Dwayne. I'm more leery of Ivanka than Junior. True. True. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where Junior stands. He's a little iffy, but, oh, but yeah, definitely Ivanka may be someone to watch.
Right.
For me, one thing I'm watching. He said Don Junior. Gaslights, just like right, just like his mama. Right.
And it
I,
strangely looks like a
yeah,
young Donald. It's scary.
right, right. Um, I'm watching kind of the stock market. A lot of the volatility, the companies that are being propped up and pushed up by just a lot of speculation and what they can be become. Going from a few dollars to a couple of $100. A lot of companies are being pushed now. Of course, we know GameStop, the story of GameStop, AMC, and some other companies being pushed up. And it's just interesting to watch and see the whole game being changed in a sense with stocks because it's like someone figured out the cheat code like up down down left right
Maybe
you know
start.
right maybe hold that button wait okay then let it go so they figured out kind of like how to begin to change what we've always been watching because I always find it funny how those that run the game tell you, hey, put your money in and let it sit. Let it sit for years and decades. And while they are in the game using your money to make more money, as opposed to those that see like, okay, hey, put it in, you watching it, it's growing, all right, pull it out. Right, right, right.
Right there, right there.
Right. So I think I think that's gonna be an interesting watch. But it seems like as far as the government is concerned, they're actually stepping in for the little people for once. Like they're like, yo, this is how y'all set the game up. Y'all can't just change rules when it's not going your way. So it seems like for now at least it seems that way that they're more like there's two lawsuits I think against Robinhood for stopping the trades of GameStop. What's up, Terry? Good
Sir,
morning.
I like the fact that they mad at Robin Hood.
Right,
Like the
right.
irony of that
And the
alone.
irony, right,
The
right.
irony alone. Because that's exactly what it's like when you got people who really don't know what they're doing, that's trying the stock market or trying to get to that point where they can actually make some real bread. Um, they're perfect capital.
Right,
Let me use
right,
everything. Yeah, y'all keep on. Come on. Yeah, invest in the stock market. We got not saying anything wrong with any of these things. This is just me being stupid. We got Acorn. If you got an extra 45 cents
oh, right,
when you
right,
buy
right,
coffee, let's round that 55 cent up and we invest
right,
55 cents for you.
right,
People
right.
start to be like, you know what? I'm gonna invest my money where I want to invest it. I ain't giving it. And all of a sudden, hold on, Robin Hood. It's like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's a
Yeah,
funny thing. You got to
yeah.
be educated in anything you do.
Right. True.
Eh,
But even if you think about it, even if I was educated and I was in Robinhood, like thinking I'm doing the right thing, and then I see something, like growing, I'm like, yo, I need to buy it, and then you're like, no, you can't because it's growing too fast, and you're gonna make money too quick, and
I'm-
that's not how the game's supposed to work for you. Like
right.
you're not supposed to
That's
put your
that,
money in and get it right out. Like
that's not how it works for y'all.
right,
But over here,
right,
that's what we do. Matter of fact,
right,
you know what? Hey, AD, I ain't supposed to tell you this, bro. Um, but New Balance,
right,
they just got bought by Michael Jordan. They
right,
working a
right.
deal. Look, you
Exactly.
might want to buy some stock.
Right. Exactly.
We're gonna put y'all in jail, but we're gonna
Right.
talk about it over here.
Right. 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 So yeah, it's crazy how some of the systems are being shifted. What is it like? What do we say? 2020 was the great exposure. Like
Hmm.
2021 is just more of an exposing of some of the systems and things that we've gotten adjusted to that are now changing. I think this pandemic has changed and shifted a lot of things as well. Um, with people having to stay in place, more time for people to research and look things up and just kind of see what was going on in my life the last 10 years.
Right.
You're like, wait a minute, looking at your account, what is this? You got time to look stuff up like, what is this? Why am I
Hmm.
paying for this? you know, so
Yep.
it's kind of interesting what's going on.
I got one for you, bro.
What's
How do you? One of the things that I definitely am looking at because um, I think conservative Democrats,
okay?
along with the conservatives, all take issue with something that we've seen very early.
Okay.
This equality bill or this new equal rights with the children that identifies trans at young ages,
Okay.
being able to go to the bathroom with your daughter, a little
Oh,
boy
right,
that.
right, right.
How,
That's it.
where you at when it comes to that? Because
Right,
this my eyes definitely on it. I don't
right,
think it's going to happen in Georgia,
right,
um, but
right.
it's
I
definitely
mean, it's kind of a weird space. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with it. Um, it's I'm not comfortable with that at all. It kind of because it's anyone can identify, even if they don't mean it. And I think that's my biggest issue. I get it if you're whatever you're at or whoever you are, that's one thing, but your identification just comes from you. It's kind of like how people fake back pains to you could you
hmm
can't question somebody's pain because there's no test that can show pain. So it's like anyone can say anything. So yeah, it's a crazy kind of space right there. As well as I think if I'm not mistaken, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, Joe Biden was signing into legislation about allowing trans to get into sports. And what I mean by that is, if I identify as a woman, I as a man can compete in a woman's space.
Like
Oh,
in Connecticut, I saw a news story
right,
in Connecticut, two males who identify as female.
right.
And don't get mad with me for saying it that way. That's
No,
the way I. No, I'm
right.
just talking
Oh,
to the
wait.
panel. Yeah,
The way you're breaking it out. Yeah,
yeah.
man. I
That's
feel you.
just the way I was raised. If
I
if
got you.
you if you want to be called a she, okay, I get it. But I was just taught look down.
Right,
So there was two males
right,
who identifies as female,
right,
and they got on the female track team,
right,
and they broke all
right,
of the state's
right,
track records
right,
year one.
right. Because
And people who were heralding it at first was
right,
like, it's not fair.
right,
Yeah, I understand that she feels like she's a she,
right,
but genetically she's a male, and she's got
right,
extra stuff that my kid don't got.
right.
They was dusting these girls.
Right. And science shows, men and women are built differently. We are both built differently. Muscles, our systems, we are built differently.
Hormones,
Hormones, yeah.
the
And I watched this crew, Abba and Preach. They're like two comedians, and they do like commentary on stuff, and they were talking about this. And then they pulled up a clip because when you, as a male, when you're talking about it, you feel like, okay, well, maybe we're just tripping. Maybe we're talking about something that may not, maybe we just overlook, overthinking it. But Serena Williams came up and said it herself. One of the best female tennis players said it herself that some of the great male or decent male tennis players, she said, I couldn't beat them. She said it herself. Their serves are 100 times fast. Well, I won't say 100 times, but much faster than my serves. When they serving.
and she's the exception.
Right. And she said I would lose. I would lose. And because John McEnroe got in trouble because he said, Serena Williams is the best female tennis player.
Right.
Because then someone tried to, because John McEnroe don't hold his tongue. Someone was like, "What you mean? But when you just say she's the best in the world?" He was like, "No." In her category, in her class, she is the best. Because there's a difference between a lot of males and females. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, there are some females that can beat up on males all day in boxing. I'm sure Layla Ali can whoop on some good, some male boxing,
Right.
all day. But as a whole, it just makes it more challenging for women to compete in a field where males genetics dominate. And if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, but you know what I'm saying. If they do identify as women, but they're built like a man, so
Right.
it just makes it more difficult.
I mean, and the thing is, to me, it only, once again, this is the opinion of Dwayne Goodson. This is the opinion of Katie Goodson's son, Aaron Dwayne Goodson from Dillon, South Carolina, a brother of legacy. This is my opinion.
All right.
There is absolutely nothing, it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm just looking at it differently. When you try to create this type of equality, which I think is you create new lines, not equality. In sports, it's only for the men who identify as women. That's because let's be for real, ain't no woman fitting to identify as a man and go play in the NBA. It ain't gonna happen.
Right. Right.
I ain't gonna say it. It ain't gonna
Can't
happen. It possibly
possibly,
a
but
remote stretch could,
right. Right.
but I don't see it happening.
Right.
And football, I played football with some tough girls in the neighborhood.
Right.
They won't
You
even
should make
play
it a
in
kicker.
varsity.
Right. Right.
Maybe a kicker, right? E?
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Hey, good morning, Mama
Mama
Moses.
Moses, how you doing? But
Man.
yeah, but I'm like let's like Apple said, apples. I know my sister name, and it's been a while since. Still a man. I ain't gonna go to Joanna man, right? But still a man. I
Still a
mean,
man, right?
that
Right.
it's like the reality of it is,
Right.
um, you need to be comfortable in the skin you are, and whatever you decide that you want to be
Right.
that.
Right.
But don't expect the different. Don't expect different treatment,
Right.
because I could sit here all day long and be like, I feel like I'm the president of the United States. I
Right.
guarantee if I attempt to go into the White House, I'm getting shot.
Right.
I promise
Right.
you.
He's identified. Right. 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 Yo, Cole, I feel you on that way. So my feeling is, if you're transgender, you should compete against other transgender athletes. I think maybe they should just have a separate category of themselves, because you're right. If that compete against the same, that's woke. You're a guy identifying as a female, and you should compete against each other.
Well,
You
one
see,
of the
right, right. I thought about that. Too. I know,
Well, one
but
of the things
not
that
right now, Robert. Right.
they're saying, which
Would there
I
be a
still
difference?
don't know if there's if the advantage still lies there, is they want them to be on hormone suppression type drugs for a minimum of a year prior
Okay.
to being able to participate officially in anything.
Wow.
I don't know if that still brings it down to, okay, what you bring to the table versus what she brings to the table, but
Right.
it at least takes some of that explosiveness off.
Right. That's right. What you doing? All right. Sorry.
Because as an old man right now,
Yeah.
if I decided to, I feel like I'm a woman,
Right.
and I go and participate at a collegiate level, I think I can give the business to about 75% of the athletes out there. Maybe not in track and field no more. My knees just ain't what they used to be, but
Right. No
in
knees.
other areas,
Yeah.
I think still right now I could. Yeah,
Right.
it's not fair.
Right. It's not.
And it's I think you open a can that you don't.
Right. It's interesting.
Ooh.
What prisons do changes to go to. Right. Right.
Well,
Right.
in jail, there's special populations for people who identify.
Oh, really? That's
In
interesting.
not every jail, but several jails, several prisons,
Okay.
they do have accommodations, and there's places where men. I don't hold on. I know it's been discussed. I don't know. Let's do some fact checking. But I think that there's a place where men who identify as women, they don't go to female prisons, but there's another section of the prison that they go to that's separated from straight heterosexual men.
Okay. While we look that up, tonight, Sisters of Legacy, Brothers of Legacy, combining, unite. Make sure you watch that at 8:30. I got that time right. 8:30. All right. Stay tuned. All right.
Okay, so thank you, New York.
It's
New
about
York,
time.
bop, bop. See, you got me talking that Kevin Hart stuff, man. That brick oven pizza. If y'all don't know what that
Oh
bop is,
man.
it's that brick oven
Because of
pizza.
pizza, right? It's about time. So silly. Oh, I said, I don't
But
know.
we do have an answer,
How
Ad.
long do I have to participate in your delusion? Oh, so was it? Right. Go ahead.
Big shout out to New York, first of all.
All right.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but
Maybe
New
we can
York
say.
was the first September of last year. No, sorry, September 2019. They forced a trans woman into a men's facility.
Wow.
Well, biologically, she was a man, so I
Right.
don't understand what the issue is.
Right.
But they're gonna go. She was feeling like a woman, so um, they came up with a lawsuit. The results, um, well, no, it wasn't a result. That was the first. That was the first message I saw. Then the Economist said, prisoners' dilemmas: putting trans women in female prisons sets up a clash of rights. Duh. And then July 2019, that same New York case, her name was Jay Diamond, Jai Diamond, which just weirdly sounds like a stripper name. This is just my opinion. Um,
Right.
she spent 6 years in an all men prison. That
Wow.
she was the one that was, and then after becoming New York's first trans
Right.
inmate, she got transferred to an all women's prison.
Right.
I don't get it. You're a
Right.
criminal. You
Right.
in a prison system with the people that your body looks like.
Right.
And now you're gonna go to a field. What if you did it just because you didn't want to deal with the dudes in prison?
Right.
Not because you really because she became a trans while she was a prisoner.
Right. I was like, you know what?
So
Let
what
me identify
happens
with these dudes.
there? Can you think of all the ramifications of what would happen if she goes to that women prison and just all of a sudden, hey, I'm really not trans anymore. I changed my
Right.
mind.
Right.
Come here, Susie.
Right.
Can you imagine the blowback of that?
Right. Right. He said, Mama Moses said, this is what happens when we step away from God's order that he set in place. Man and system. Well, that is, man does the system doing his own thing.
Absolutely.
That's time and time again. Definitely. So yeah, that's a space to watch to see how this sports scene goes down. I think it's starting. I think he's starting signing executive. Was it like a Title 19 kind of thing or connected to that?
And the crazy thing is, I'm cool with it.
Right.
I'm not cool with it, but I'm cool with it. I'm not
Right.
cool with the parts of because I got daughters. You going into my bathroom, my daughter's bathroom, and you ain't a
Right.
girl. I don't care
Right.
what you feel like you are. I feel like $1 million every day. I
Right.
ain't there yet. There's a lot
Right.
of, but if y'all want to play sports, go ahead.
Right. And it's funny. Watching Alvin preach, they were the last part he said was he's like, as a man, he said, I guess I need my ladies to speak up for this. He said I can say something, but he's like, you know what, this is kind of your fight. He said so. He said I'm gonna just sit back and wait, and just see what the results and the research is gonna show. And you ladies, if it bothers you, you guys he's like, you just need to speak up and say something.
Where
You
does it
know,
stop?
yeah, yeah. That's his always that one, right? Where does
Yeah,
it
where
stop?
does it? Because
Where does it stop?
it's trans today.
You're right.
Oh,
Right.
somebody's gonna be like, I deserve to be able to get on this flight for free. I'm an
Right.
emotional support dog.
Right. Oh,
And I know that sounds crazy, but
no, I know. Right now it does. Right now it does. He said, right, Dwayne Goodson. I don't really even fool with that. Oh, with Target anymore. Yeah, for that specific reason.
oh,
Yeah,
please do tell Sam or AD
yeah,
because I need to
yeah.
know this.
Target some time ago. I think it's been some years now. They had if you identify, you can go into what you identify. Like if you're a female, a male that identifies as female,
Really?
go yeah. So yeah, I heard that
Wow.
news story a long time ago. He said a lot of us are scared of the backlash from the community. I was told off by a trans once, and I felt hella threatened.
I
What's
can't
funny?
believe because you a female. So at
Right,
the end of the day, you small.
right,
And she ain't no small female.
right,
I'll call her she if she want to be called she, but she ain't built
right,
like the typical female.
right.
Oof.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's just at the end of the day, there's gonna be a line that has to be drawn. Like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Like, I'm, I don't know. Like, I don't. Like, I heard one point someone saying getting rid of genders. Like, because you confuse, we got to get rid of genders. Like, no, decide on what you're gonna be. What are you? So I think having that understanding of like who you are, like yeah, like it's I don't know. I think it's gonna right now was it what they call it the cancel culture. I think we're probably at the top of that now. It's it's gonna shift over, and we're just gonna be like it's whatever. This is how I feel culture.
Right.
Like you just gonna get told how I feel, and that's gonna be the end of it. Even at work, like we're gonna figure out where's our line. Like I'm not disrespecting.
Right.
They asked me a question, I answered you back. So he said I'm going into whatever bathroom you identified was instituted in a few places. Right, 2016. Yes, indeed. Like why they have to infiltrate the Boy Scouts? They already have the Girl Scouts. Right, right, right. Because I was hearing about that as well. So Yeah, I think that's so what we watch for this year. Another thing, right, is the reversal of the cancel culture. Just listen, this is how we feel about this. Because you can't just be allowed to do whatever you want to do. There have been separations, especially for sexes, for a reason. He said the NBA and many other businesses pulled doing things in North Carolina all because of the bathroom issue. Right, I remember that. I remember that. Let's see. We'll return to Dave's on more. Yeah, I mean, just like every generation, the end times is coming and it's closer and closer. Um, we can only pray and do what we need to do and speak up because that's the
Those
point we're coming
birthing
to. We
pains
just
are
need to
getting
speak up.
strong.
Right. Let's see. Here's the thing. I don't care how you feel, and why does how you feel trump my feelings? Right. You feel like a boy, so I just have to accept it. No matter how that makes me feel.
And,
Right.
and, and let me and let
Right.
me take that a step further, Sam, because me and you we on the same page completely right now. I don't care how you feel, but why does how you feel trump what is truth and facts?
Right.
Not even my feelings, but truth and
Yeah.
facts.
Yes.
If you look down and you got something that's outside of you, you
Right.
more like me. I'm sorry.
Right.
You don't have to feel like me.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. This is all about rejecting God. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Do it
Um,
my way, how I
uh,
want to do it.
segue in something real quick. That no ad. Don't worry. No more moving over. But if you're on Periscope, as you know, March 31st is the last day. Right, right. How does it trump nature? Right, right. March 31st, Periscope will be going away. So all my people that don't mess with Facebook, make sure you follow us on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. So make sure you do that because yeah, there won't be another option. I don't think that I'll be uh, connected into right now. He said that's the problem, Sam. This issue right here is why I can't rock with Democratic Party. They have these bullies who control the party because of this issue. Interesting. At a previous job, there was a transsexual in a different building. Since I was the only female in the building, there were discussions for that person to come over and use my bathroom. Wow, I didn't know about it till later. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I mean, as far as the parties, I get it. Um, oh, hold on, what's going on? Stuff is happening in the background. Oh,
No,
okay,
no, it's cool. It's cool.
okay. So hearing pings, but I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, Cole. It does, but unfortunately, right now they have, to me, the closest interest of ours at heart, if that's the best way to put it. They're at least making more of an attempt to bridge that gap, especially Biden now. He's really like building us a bridge.
And
So
and I'm gonna give a reality soundbite here. Prior to the election, I said the same thing about both President Biden and former President Trump. I said they both got some
right,
morality issues.
right,
That one was just better than the other.
right,
Now that the other is gone, we're gonna address the one that's in power now.
right, right,
This has always been my problem with Democrats. Now, no, President, I'm gonna need you to hear this. I'm gonna pray God finds somebody. These black dudes down in Georgia call this other brothers legs. They're talking about you. It's gonna make it to his ear one day. Look, check it out, Mr. Biden. You guys, when I say you guys, I mean the Democratic Party has used black plight for years to get votes. Promised us change, and the people who generally get changes usually are the people that we're talking about now: the homosexual community, the gay, lesbian, LGBTQ, transsexuals are getting more airplay than we are right now. So I need you to back off of that and make good on some of the things that the community needs.
I feel like
That's
I
more than talk.
that's I think it's happening. I feel like it's happening. I feel slowly it's gonna happen. But we'll was it the first 100 days? We'll discuss where he's at and we'll revisit that because I feel like he's making strides. He's signed a lot of executive orders. We'll see as far as what happened. Now, my question always is, what does the black community want? You understand what I'm saying? What does the black community want? He said, and Dwayne just dropped the mic. Oh, but yeah, but my thing is, what does the black community want, right? What is it that we're looking for that doesn't involve criminal, was it criminal reform and things of that nature? Like, what is it? What do we want, or what do you want in from the black community? Because that's been my number one question when anyone feels like we're getting slighted, other than reparations, which I'm 100% for. That's directly to us. Outside of that, um, what is it that we're looking for? Because, and and just for clarity, like in the '60s, it was clear, like two water fountains, like that's a no go. Having to come in front to the back of a store and the government fine with that, that's a no go. Sitting in the back of the bus, that's a no go. You know what I'm saying? Getting denied housing loans, you know, uh, literally face to face, was a no go. Not saying it doesn't happen anymore, um, but what is it now that we are reaching for? What is it that we are seeking to change in our community? He said, "Oh, that's a loaded question. That would take a whole separate show to address." But yeah, that's that. So that's my question. You and even Cole, what is it that you would like to happen? What executive orders, right? That if he could just sign, and even if it's unrealistic, because sometimes it's like, yeah, it take more to do that. But just if he could just sign it right now, what would it be?
Implementing a truthful version of American Black history into American history courses,
Okay.
not giving us a need for Black History Month because it's littered throughout American history. I want to see if you can right that wrong. I have a strong belief that you can right much of the misconception, much of the stereotyping that we experience every day. If you can show that, hey, you don't need just 28 days out of 365 to be considered important, but when you teach history, when you teach about World War II, you're talking about the advances and give credit to the black people who made those advancements doing it. The same way you talk about General Montgomery, the same way you talk about General Bradley, the same way you talk about General Eisenhower. Talk about the black achievements during that time. Don't
So
save it to February.
so instead of there being American history and Black history, you just want American history to be with Black history and American history to be one. Like
Right.
if I'm
But
gonna talk about what
tell the
happened,
real story.
what happened in this age, I'm gonna talk about everything that's happened during this time.
Absolutely.
That includes us as well.
Don't just relegate us to 28 days.
I
and
got
and
you.
and what that does is it on a daily basis it consistently the reason why I've always had an issue with Black History Month is because people people need consistency, and what you don't consistently see, what you don't consistently do, it doesn't really matter. So when you relegate our history to the shortest month of the year, which is not, that was kind of our issue,
No,
but
I get it. I get
what
it.
happens is
I get it.
11 months of the year
Right.
you're not exposed to that, so it takes your mind away from it, and you're not aware of it,
Right.
and because you're not aware of it, you may sell yourself short. But when you're constantly seeing, when you're talking about science, and when you get the Charles Drew stories, when talking about how blood is separated, instead of just putting a footnote, oh, Charles Drew created this. No, talk about how the process.
Right.
Talk about the technology of radio waves and of helicopter, of lift and thrust, and how a black pilot came up with it, and he was never even. If you talk about those things and you put those things out there, like Eli Whitney had slaves who created the cotton gin.
Right.
So, but that comes with, we're gonna have to hold, a lot of capital is gonna be lost because there's a lot of people that's eating a lot of money off of things that were created by white people
Oh,
who didn't really create it.
right.
So to change that narrative actually shifts wealth if you went back. But I ain't even
Well,
talking about going back to switching,
yeah.
giving us our money for it. I'm just
I
do it
mean,
right from this point forward.
for the most part, they probably legally covered themselves. They had somebody sign something. They stole it. They can't prove it. Like even we bring it up, either statute limitation, the statute of limitations. He said, "Who's that?" Cole said you have to thank G. Carter Woodson for pushing Black History Week and to be in February and having it extended for a full month around the time of March. Yeah, so I believe well two reasons Black History has helped because one it brought awareness. Because
Mm-hmm.
we've kind of been what they call it whitewashed out of history in a
Right.
sense that we didn't really accomplish anything other than be slaves. Two, I think it helped us as well as those previous to us to see like, oh wow, we are able to accomplish things. We're not
Right.
just workers and slaves. Like you think I can't never achieve nothing. I can't get past what this system has set up to make me fail. At least back then, especially. It said Black History for school system. Yeah, to expose black children. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Expose the children to the heritage, which I get it. So the next level would be just merging the history. Just if we're gonna talk about history, let it just be
Just
history.
bring the truth out.
History. All
See,
right. So
Black History Month was Jackie Robinson. Jackie
right,
Robinson wasn't the best baseball player, but he was a perfect person for the National League at the time he came
right,
in. That
right,
was step one. Now we're at Hank Aaron, we're at Henry Aaron's level. We need the real now.
right.
We appreciate it, but let's make it real.
With the Hebrews. Okay. Um. So yeah, it's so we should be. So let me ask you this, and I've talked about this before. We got about 5 minutes. And Cole, because I know Cole gonna jump in on this too. So do you feel like we should be fighting for just being Americans and not Black Americans? Because we don't really address white Americans and white Americans. They're Americans. Um, should we be fighting for the coming together? I need to see equality. Period. Right. I need to see Biden treat us as people and not as a voting bloc. I'm gonna get to that because I'm all right. He knows the issues at hand. He's been in politics for 48 years. He knows. Yeah, but listen. Okay, so Cole, I hear what you're saying, right? But yes, we are a voting bloc. Voting is our leverage. Voting is our leverage. And unfortunately, because of the way the table's set up, we have to use our leverage to get things done. Dr. Claude Anderson said it a long time ago in his book about, he said voting is one of the ways that we can get politicians to do what we want them to do. Not really running, having someone run for us, but grabbing the representatives and getting them to shift their votes and their community focus so that we can get things done in our community. So voting is leverage. And honestly, that's what we are. And if we operate as a voting bloc, we won't have to worry about being put on the outside because we'll be taken seriously. You know,
Bro, and I agree with what you're saying in theory, except I just need the Democratic Party along with the Republican Party too. I'm not just holding the fight, but the Republican Party don't get the black vote like the Democrat Party.
no,
That's why I'm
okay,
specifically speaking to the Democratic Party for those of you that are listening. I just need them to. Black people have been our pain, our plight, our anguish has been used by every major group looking for rights since the inception of the United States of America. We got tagged along and grabbed up by the women's suffrage movement because they didn't have rights. And what happened was the women started to get rights, and blacks were still in the back of the taxi or still on the back of the bus, trying to get a seat in the front somewhere. And then I mean we see brown people and immigrants um, wanting rights, and who's there to have their back? Us. and who gets rights and who doesn't receive rights, them, not us. And I'm just tired of that narrative. I need to see something substantial. I'm not saying that President Biden right now isn't showing signs of, but I'm at a place in life where I don't need signs. This is not me speaking as a Christian because that's a whole different ideology. But as a black man, I need something more than a sign and a promise.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, we like I said, we let's see. Hold on. Let me get to these comments real quick. This is so Cole. I'm gonna need you just to call out one day. Just come on, so we can. Oh, there we go with the nonsense. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let's. There we go. Try to hold on. Try to have a serious conversation.
And then Corner Robert gonna come up in this. Come on, Corner. What was you thinking, Corner?
And then it's not
Go
working.
sit in the corner.
Let's go. He's gonna go sit in the corner. I'm gonna have to block him more daggone on my phone. Because I don't know why this thing. There we go. All right. No, it won't block. Great. All right. So ignore that. Cool. All right. So, so okay. Hold on. Let me get to these comments. And then it said the thing is, politicians seem to look at us as a voting block. We did that once every cycle. So too many politicians participate in self-interest. Look at Republicans. You get those clowns hopping on Trump train, and when they saw Trumplicans acting like fools, they leapt off the bandwagon. Exactly. He said, and their groups get the rights because they work together and stay consistent. Right. We are consistent or collective. Until we are a true force, we will always be pushed to the side. There will be no Dems, no Republicans when Christ returns. Too many Democrats, when they get in office, are solely about keeping office, right? Keeping them in office. But that goes to holding their feet to the fire in our districts or whatever representatives you have. The saints must focus and look for God for everything. Yes, indeed. Thanks for the opportunity to vent, no doubt. So the consistency in our blocks and our groups and sticking together is something that we definitely have to do. But that's to my point. So too many Democrats, they get in office and they solely about being kept in office. We're the ones that keep them in office.
Right.
Right. And and if I'm, it's kind of like someone leverages a proposal to you at work and things go down and now you want to do something like, hey, I need something. Remember that time?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, in lack of a better word, blackmail. Hey, you remember that time? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I need to get this done. You want to keep your spot, right? I need to get this done. So that's how we need to leverage it. Then Claude Anderson also spoke about who Pastor's not the biggest fan of, and I will point that out. So, but only because he seemed like he writes about it but doesn't do the work. But
Be right back, sir.
yeah. So Claude Anderson spoke about not only leveraging our votes, but leveraging our money towards the politicians so that hold on, he got a lot going on there. Showing power in what we do, but showing that we can finance your campaign as well. So sticking with us not only helps you financially, it helps you with your political power. Boom. My most little background. He said this has become a real shit. I keep seeing radio broadcasts for the brother. I appreciate you. We're working on it. Oh. So yeah, I think that's the way that we can make change through leveraging our votes, leveraging our finances. Start giving into these campaigns. A lot of big corporations give to several campaigns. So when they need something or a bill is about to be passed that's going to hurt them,
Remember that
like,
fake.
hey, yeah, right. Hey, this thing might hurt us by a couple of million. If you sign this will help us.
Right.
So
Remember
and
that time where I slipped that $5 million check into your offshore account?
right, right. And we need to, and honestly, we need to have more lobbyists. We need to get some lobbyists. Real talk. We need to get some lobbyists in Washington to be fighting on our behalf. We can
We
get
got the
legislators.
capital. You're right,
Yeah,
AD.
right.
I
We just
agree.
need
Look, we
lobbyists.
got the capital.
Right.
We got the strongest economy
Right.
in this country,
Right.
and we only make up what 13% of this country.
Right.
So we got the capital.
So, right, and we just need to get some lobbyists in force that know the ins and outs of Washington, and we just give them the money to say, hey, here's a couple of million, you keep a little bit, and you let this money spread out where it needs to go, so we can make things happen. Period. I mean, but the question is, what is it that we want to happen? What is it that we want to change? I got the Black History. That's cool because I've been thinking about that too. American history. Start blending it together. Like let it be synonymous. Like we're gonna talk about what happened. Hey, the city was invented. Uh, John Crappett made the toilet, and that's his name. And then you went outside in the city and the light was changing. I can't remember his name. The black guy that made the light change, the signal light.
Morgan, Garrett Morgan.
Gary Morgan.
Now, see,
So
but I'm talking about way past that though. I'm
I
talking
know,
about
but
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
an example.
right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. No, but another thing that I mean, I'd say that because it changes a mindset, and if you can change your mindset and image, you can change trajectory. Um, and you said stay away from the criminal side of things because that was the only to me
That's the
that's
only
it.
thing.
They're like if just treat us like everybody gets treated.
Oh, you
Like
talking about?
I just don't want there to be differences. If
I
you
got you.
subtract differences, I don't want anything else from you. Just don't make my life different from your life.
So here's my big, hairy, audacious goal, right? So with that, that is not some of that's not systematic. Now, some of the laws in certain cities is like waivers one way in one city and waivers different in a different city. So, when it's predominantly one people in one area because of that city, they have different laws, and this city is not. Um, those can change. Those are systematic. But when it comes to the mindset, like as a cop, right, you're a cop. You were a cop, and you are, you could be judge and jury right there at this stop, right? And so I'm depending on your mindset to be in the right place so this stop doesn't turn wrong. I mean, matter of fact, let me keep it real. I need you to look at me as your son, cousin, nephew, and say,
Your
"Stop being a
brother.
fool. Here's a warning ticket, and let me and let me
Right.
ride out." You know, um, but a lot of times someone come up and that's not the case. They look at me as someone they had issues with, or they've seen because of the constant negative look as far as black people. They may thinking, have a certain way of thinking, right? So ride with me. I'm going a long way right now.
Okay.
so so I think it's about changing the perception of how we are looked at in this country. You understand what I'm saying? And to me, that is a whole nother fight. That's a whole nother struggle. So I had my big hairy audacious goal is starting a marketing company where just marketing to make black Americans look better. Period.
You and I love it, but
Right.
there's a part of me that's looking like
I know it's
what
crazy.
more? Like what? I feel like Tyrese right now. What more do you want from me? Like we, we had a
I
black president.
I
We
get
we
it.
got a black.
But no,
Hold
no,
on, I'm
no.
just saying, but like we got a,
Good.
a black vice president.
I know.
Like the greatest basketball players ever to play black. The greatest football players for the most part black. I mean, you got black excellence all over the place. What more?
Because okay, so the problem is, right? This is us. This is what everybody sees, right?
Right.
All those other people are like this anomalies. You know, there's a separation. There's the blacks, and then there's the good blacks. You
I
understand
feel
what I'm
you.
saying?
Yep. Yep.
So as if we could pull that wall down, I think things can change. If we can change the it's the good blacks and you're not like them because
Yeah.
I've gotten that you're
No,
not like them,
I used to get that often, but
right? And
and
you
that
like
and that was a
what
trigger
does
for me.
them mean?
Yeah, that was a trigger. That's the wrong thing to say to a black person that you don't know is as conscious as it's like, huh?
Like no, I am them. Like
Yeah.
like what
Uh-huh.
does that mean?
Like,
Hold on
huh?
one second. I think I'm not getting my comments. Let me hit the refresh.
So yeah, it's one of those things like I agree with AD, but it's like, man, at what point do I think it's a love deficiency is what I think it is. No, it's not a think. It's a no.
Right,
It's a love deficiency. And because we don't love our neighbors the way we love ourselves,
right,
these type of perceptions exist
right.
because I, I've I've done it before. I was at the airport and I thought this dude that was sitting next to me was a redneck who probably disliked black people. That's what I thought. He
Right.
just looked the part the way whatever that part's supposed to look like in my head. He just
Right.
looked the part.
Right.
And then he looked at me and was like, "How you doing, brother?" And I was like, "I'm not doing bad in yourself." And we started having a conversation.
Right.
And
Right.
at the end of that conversation, I was like, "This man is truly my brother." We believed the same things. We had
Right.
the same heart. We had compassion for people the same way. He was on his way to South America to deliver 200 pair of shoes and to build a school for orphans.
Right.
And here I am looking at him just because of the way he looked. I was like, this is a redneck who probably dropped the N word all the time when I'm not around. I was absolutely
Absolutely
wrong.
wrong. Right.
I was
Exactly.
absolutely wrong.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think that the cure for your, I mean, it's not a lofty dream. It
Right.
should be a real expectation.
Right.
We have to love each other. And one thing that I do know is love begets love.
Right.
If I give you the same energy you give me, then
Yes.
that's what we're gonna do back
Right.
and forth. But the moment that I put my ego to the side and start loving on you a little bit,
Right.
you know what? I it stands to reason that you can be changed. And if
Right.
you can be changed, maybe you can change somebody else, and then that cycle continues.
Let's see. Hold on. I got Okay, Cole's. I'm sorry, Cole. My Facebook comments fell off. So it said Sam said we're not consistent. Cole said, and then when it comes to owning all block, there's no unity. To Sam's wonderful point, it has to get to the point one day where we no longer are voting for a person because he's not a pick an idiot. Right. 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 You're right, Dwayne. Dwayne, you good? Did you fall? Oh,
Oh
with the
wow.
sound. There was a big sound in the back when you got off the camera. How's it? Oh, talking AD is what MLK Jr. wanted to do. Alas, you had people who thought he wasn't effective enough because the interests were split. Right, and I'm free. Oh, February 15th. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Sounds like a
Um,
date.
Punish people the exact same way, regardless of skin color. Yes, it's time we start showing all Americans that Black America is not a monolith. True. Um, the longest money is white. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Is that true? Money talks and stuff walks. You know how they think. Let's see. Yet your property value does not change when we are not those blacks. Indeed, indeed, we have to combine putting politicians on their toes and doing for ourselves.
Right.
We have to marry what MLK and Malcolm X talked about. It's time we love one another ultimately because we are family. Then we make politicians do their jobs and in between election campaigns. Yes, indeed, love is colorblind. Indeed, um, I think it's holding the feet to the fire, stand tall, and like you said, like the combining together yet uh, separate but equal. Like we have to stick together in order to get things done. And the sticking together, I get it. Like it's as a huge block of blacks is it becomes challenging, but it's possible. I think we just have to start with a smaller block of blacks, to attack the larger audience, if that makes sense. Because everybody has a spot of influence. Everybody can influence 5 to 500 people. They have the possible. It's possible they can influence. We just have to get the influential people in one room and get them to at least reach an understanding, and then they can influence their blocks. Because I can't. Because let's keep it real. Sometimes when you get a large plan, you'll be good from 1 to 5, and then the 5 to 10, you're like, nah, I'm not feeling that. I'm out. So the people that's influenced would give you just the 1 to 5. I'm gonna give you the stuff that I know you're with. The other stuff ain't big on your scale, so you're not gonna focus on. I'm gonna give you the stuff in my region that you guys are interested in. So I think that's what's gonna take. V said, "Did y'all watch American Skin? The cops
I
portrayed how black people are
can't
viewed."
watch
Yes,
it, V, because
yeah,
I
it's
like, although I've never seen a person who looks at black people differently, treat a black person differently while I was in uniform. I did see perspectives, and that was enough for me. And
right.
it,
Did,
that
oh, so
it
you,
was
but you
enough
didn't see
to
it
rub.
though.
No, I
You didn't
haven't
see it.
seen it.
You
No, I'm
saw
just
like the
saying, but
previews.
No, I haven't even seen the previews. What
Okay.
I'm saying is I saw the real thing. So
Okay.
those perspectives in real life would only piss me off. There's certain movies I can't watch no more because
It's
I try
interesting
to be
though.
as saved as I can, and
It's
and
interesting. Yeah,
it
yeah,
pisses
yeah.
me off.
I'll say spoiler alert. Yeah, you'll be angry at the end, but it's interesting because he I guess I could say he gets the cops and he holds them to a trial. He has their own trial. Like he creates a trial with
Oh, okay. So it's
yeah.
that type of okay. You know
He
what?
creates a trial. He holds a hostage. He holds a police station hostage. He creates a trial, and they have the jury of the peers of other prisoners. So it's interesting.
What network is on? Hulu, Netflix, Prime,
Is it? I think it's a movie. I think it's out, or is it Hulu? I don't know. I can't remember. I got
American
too many
Spin.
things I've
Okay,
watched things on.
the-
But yeah, it's interesting.
I got to guard my spirit. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I can't watch High Learning no more.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah,
Mississippi
yeah.
Burning. I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah. I'm gonna say though, it has a rough ending.
Prime.
Prime.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Because
Gotcha.
I got
I'm gonna
Prime.
add that to my list.
It took me a minute to see Antebellum. I've never seen that one. I think it's like a
Yeah,
scary something. Slave.
yeah.
It's all right. Let's get out of here, yo. It's 14 minutes past. We appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. Thank you for another edition of the Brothers of Legacy, where we don't stand out, we stand up, and I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Listen, we are expanding, doing some great things, and I hate to sound like church. It's giving time. So if you feeling led to give and be a blessing, we have a financial program as well for the youth. And if you have kids, go to brothersoflegacy.com. Brothersoflegacy.com. It's a free program, and click on financial literacy and just fill out the form. We'll connect with you in 24 to 48 hours. Don't worry, nobody's gonna call you. Just gonna get the login so you can get into the system and have your children from grade 1 all the way up until high school. It's a great program. All right, so make sure you connect with that. As well tonight, look out for us. Look for Solomon's Temple. Watch Sisters of Legacy. Hopefully my brother Dwayne will be back on with us as well. All right, we're gonna have a great show. We're gonna talk about covering, protecting Black women, and all of that, all of the above. All right, so it's gonna be a deep conversation. Yes, sir. Thank you, Cole. Hopefully you can come watch tonight. That'll be great. Love your questions. And I will connect with you about the 15th. All right, bro. All right, guys. Be safe. Continue to wear the mask. I know. Continue to wear them. I know it's crazy. It's annoying. I had to quit my gym membership because I couldn't go work out with the mask on. It was too much. It was already hard enough being there. But be blessed. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Know that we love you, but God loves you more. We'll see you in the AM. Peace out.
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Good morning, everybody.